As a girl who went from getting B grades, working at McDonald's, to graduating from the University of Oxford, Harvard, getting an honorary doctorate degree at the age of 25, and is now doing her PhD degree in America while serving as a young leader at the United Nations, I'm here to tell you that you absolutely 110% can academically reinvent yourself and become that student, and I'm here to tell you how. Okay, hi guys, and welcome to my new series called Academically Glow Up, Becoming That Student. And we have approximately about 20 or 30 days left until we all go back to school, university, whatever we've got going on. And I think it's time that we buckle down, get it together, and do it as a team. Here is how we are academically glowing up and reinventing ourselves, because so many times people will be told you are this kind of student and that's it, you're in that box forever, and you feel like stuck, like you're just the bad student, or you're the class clown, or you're the person who never hands in their homework, and you can't escape that identity, and you feel like, well, that's it for me. No, not on this channel, not on this platform, and not in this community. I've got your back. I'm your academic big sister. And obviously, I don't need to say this because we all know, but if you haven't subscribed by now, I don't know, man, something a bit funny about you. Okie dokie, let's get straight into it. Part one of this whole thing, today's first episode, is all about mindset shifting. I don't want to lose you at this point. I don't want you to be like, oh my God, is this really what we're talking about? Like, I need practical tips. We're gonna get there. We're taking this journey together. I know how long we've got until school starts. I've got your back, and I'm very frequent with my uploads, and I will be right here. But today we have to go back to the basics and start with a mindset shifting, because a lot of the biggest issue with becoming that student or becoming that person you always dream of is often a mental block before anything else. I understand that there are barriers and other things, extenuating circumstances that might also be in your way, and I will address that later on. But for today, I'm talking about if everything else is right there in your favor, you've got a place at the university of your dreams, you've got a school that you attend, you can go there safely, you've got all the things that you need, but you can't help like waking up late, or like you're attending lecture and nothing's really going in, or you don't know how to stay motivated. That's what I'm talking about. You just wouldn't believe how much of a barrier it is. And what do I mean by shifting mindset? So many people, so many students that I meet, and I do this around the world. I run workshops on this around the world in different schools, different age groups. And the first thing I hear is, I'm not good at that. I don't know that. I am not that student. I am not, like, there's so much of I am not, I cannot. And I'm always like, stop. I need you to add in a word, yet. I'm not that yet. I don't know that yet. To not know is okay, but to stay not knowing is a problem. You cannot sit in a deficit mindset of I lack in this, therefore that is what I am. No, it's I lack in this, however I can do A, B, C, D. I can remix this, take it apart, do this, and I can give you the best tasting lemonade that the world has ever tasted. It really is about how do you speak to yourself. And if you're confused on what that should look and feel like, because we're talking about an internal monologue, something that is in your mind that you're like, no one else can hear this. These are the late night thoughts that I have, the way that I talk to myself when I'm out on a walk or I'm listening to my music. If you don't know what that should sound like, because you've been so used to saying you can't do this, you're not good at this, like saying that to yourself, I always say, imagine your bestest friend in the world, the friend you truly love the most, the one that genuinely sits on your heart. They have a young sibling, like a 10-year-old sibling, and they ask you to babysit that sibling for like a day or something. And the sibling comes into the room, they're like this adorable little girl, and they're like sobbing, and you're like, what's wrong? And they say, I failed a math test. I'm just the dumbest person in the world. I should just be rejected. I don't deserve to even be at school. Like, I just don't know anything. I'll never improve. What would you say to them in that very moment? Are you going to be like, man, you know what, Lucy, you're right. You know, that's it for you. You are dumb. You are a reject. You wouldn't even dream of saying that. You'll tell them, hey, it's just one test. You can fix this. We'll revise. We'll study. Here's some advice. You will find solutions. You'll start getting to work, because you would never want to let that little girl walk out of that room thinking or feeling or speaking about themselves in that way. But yet, here we are as adults doing it to ourselves. So I always say, channel your inner best friend or big sister or whatever, and think about how you would speak to someone else that you love, and start channeling that into yourself. So that's part one, is really practicing mindset shifting. Do it in the mirror, do it in your head. Part two of today's work is all about that student vision. Like, what does the vision of your ideal version of you as a high performing student look like and feel like? Just mentally, physically, visually. Like, when you visualize it, do you see yourself as like Rory Gilmore? Do you see yourself as Elle Woods walking into class? You know that you're on time making notes. Are you like a Stanley Cup holding, backpack, like really visualize? And I know that sounds so ridiculous. Like, how is that gonna help me with anything that I'm trying to do? Because your brain needs a chance to connect what you want with what you do. Like, the actions and the mindset have to match for your brain to want to keep on repeating that cycle. I think it's called something like positive feedback loop or something like that. For me, the idea of being a student is much bigger than the grades that I get. It's an identity, it's a lifestyle. Like, it's the first thing you'll know about me when I introduce myself. I introduce myself through the schools that I've attended, the kind of student that I am, what I'm studying. Like, for me, it's a culture, you know, it's a feeling. And when I visualized being a PhD student here in California, I didn't start with, oh, what curriculum? I didn't start with that. I started with, what will my apartment look like? What will my study wall feel like? What will my relationship with my professors be like? What kind of city will I live in? Will I be a coffee girl? Will I be getting acai bowls? Will I be cooking? I was visualizing all of the things that went with it, because this process has to also feel good and be bigger than just the grade. It's about the kind of friends you'll make, the kind of societies you'll join, the kind of person you will develop and become. And so I want you today to get the notepad that you're using for this series, and you're going to jot down, what does your vision and your visual of you as that student look and feel like? I literally have like my vision boards all around with me. I quite literally keep visual reminders and representations of the kind of life that I want, and the kind of person I want to become, and the kind of student I want to become. Even on my laptop, actually, I have my specific student vision board. I even have this random piece of paper that I was using for my vision board that I literally made on ChatGPT of like what me visually as a student looks and feels like. It's me like being in it. I didn't want to just be passive in my student journey. I want to be active. So you really have to sit down and visualize, like, what does this person look, feel, do, say, speak? Like, that is part of this work. That's your homework for today, because we need you to feel and think, what do I want September 2025 till August 2026 to look and feel like? What do you want results day to feel like? When you know what those things are, you start to then know what actions you'll need to take to get to those things. But first, it's about the visual. What do you want to feel like on results day? Do you want it to be a joyful day? Do you want it to be a it's okay day? Do you want it to be a day of you crying? You know what I mean? Like, when you start to understand where you're going, you can start to think about what routes you need to take and mapping out the journey. What we're doing here is, before we start talking about what roads, what left turns, right turns, whether we're taking the dirt road, the long road, the one with the most traffic, whatever, we're first deciding where we're going. Okay, that's what today's video is. We're deciding where are we going, destination choice first, then we're mapping out how we're going to get there. And the last part of today's very short lesson is all about identity declaration. I need you to declare it with your chest, loud and proud, because often people are very shy. They're very shy to be seen trying. They're very shy to be seen doing. And I need you to declare in this space with me and our fellow watchers and viewers, say, I am that student. Because the more you keep saying, I'm going to try to become, you're going to just give it half effort. You are. Okay, declare it, you are. Because the moment you say you are, people around you start to hold you accountable, you start to hold you accountable, and we start to walk in this with power and intention versus being passive. I am not going to have any passive participants in this. If you're a passive participant in this classroom right now, I'm gonna need you to exit center left. Comment it down below. If you can't, you just put a heart or put a something, just anything that we're gonna count as your declaration, not just to me, but to the world, to the universe, to God, to whatever you believe in. You need to register your interest, okay? You need to register your desire for what you want. So either in bold, write down below, I am that student, or something softer if you're not yet fully there, I am going to become that student. We can add the word going, that's okay. You must start to become so intentional about what you want and your goals and your desires that it is undeniable to anybody watching. That's the end of today's lesson, but I'll leave you with this. If the world was silent and we could only watch you and what you are doing, what do your current actions say about the kind of person that you want to become? That is all I'm saying. If I watched your entire last week and I had a nice camera and I could zoom in and watch you, do those actions match what the goals are on your vision board or in your heart? And if it's a no, class is in session. Let's get it together. Get the notepad and pen. I've got your back. See you for the next episode. I love you. I'm proud of you. You're going to become that student. From your academic big sister, over and out.